Good morning, students. We must protect ourselves from getting infected because of coronavirus. And how can we do that? Let's watch a video.
Try to avoid contact with people who display symptoms similar to those of pneumonia or the common cold, like coughing or a runny nose. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water and scrub for at least 20 seconds. Use alcohol-based hand sanitizer when possible. Avoid animals and animal markets. The only current treatment for coronavirus being offered is supportive in nature. If you notice any of these symptoms and conditions, please contact your nearest professional healthcare setup. Help spread this information to everyone.
Today's lesson is topic 12, lesson 12.2, fractions and regions, and we are going to cover page 615 to 618. And your homework is assigned online, so log into person and check your homework online. Okay, so before getting into the lesson, let's review what we studied in previous lesson. So we studied about fractions. Now what are fractions? When we write a number in this form, when there is a bar in between and one number is up and one number is down, so this is called a fraction. Any number written in this form is called a fraction. So this is the fraction for this chocolate. So what was the name of this number 1? What was the name of the number above the fraction bar? Excellent. It was numerator. What it was? Say after me. Numerator. Very nice. And it is the part described. Numerator is the part described. How? For example, this chocolate is divided into 4 equal parts, right? This is divided into 4 equal parts. And the fraction for this part, we are describing only one part. So for this, the numerator is going to be 1. And how many total parts we have? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 is what? What is the name of 4? And what is the name of 8 in this fraction? Bravo, it's a denominator. And we studied one more thing, that D for denominator and D for excellent, down. So we always write denominator down or below the fraction bar, and it shows the whole. For example, here the chocolate is divided into 1, 2, 3, and 4 equal parts. So the denominator is 4. And here you can divide the pizza into 8 equal parts. And you can say the denominator is going to be 8. Okay. Then we studied about unit fractions. Now what are the unit fractions? What is meaning of word unit? We said it's 1. And we discussed that in unit fractions, the numerator is going to be the same number. It is always the same number. And what number is it? Very nice. It's always 1. Okay, let's watch a video before starting the lesson.
How can you show and name parts of a region? Think about this question during the lesson. Mr. Peters served part of a pan of enchilada casserole to a friend. What does each part of the whole pan of casserole represent? What part was served? What part is left?
All these parts look pretty tasty, that's for sure.
In this problem, what is the whole? The whole is the whole pan of enchilada casserole. Into how many equal parts did Mr. Peters cut the whole pan of casserole? What fraction is assigned to each part? How do you know? Mr. Peters cut the whole pan of casserole into 6 equal parts. The fraction 1/6 is assigned to each part because there are 6 equal parts. The whole casserole is divided into 6 equal parts. Each part is 1/6 of the whole. You can use fractions to represent more than one of the equal parts. 6 copies of 1/6 is 6/6. So the whole is 6/6. The unit fraction is 1/6. Which part of a fraction tells the number of copies of the unit fraction?
Select your answer.
The numerator is the number of copies of the unit fraction. 2 copies of 1/6 is 2/6. 2/6 of the casserole was served. 4 copies of 1/6 is 4/6. 4/6 of the casserole is left. Which part of the fractions are the same? Why? The denominators are the same because they show the total number of equal parts for each situation. Now you know how you can show and name parts of a region.
So page number 615, solve and share. What is the problem? Pat made a garden in the shape of a rectangle and divide it into 4 equal parts. She planted flowers in 3 of the parts. Draw a picture of what Pat's garden might look like. So what's given? The garden is like a rectangle. It's in the shape of rectangle, and she divided her garden into 4 equal parts, and then she planted the flowers into only 3 parts. So how the garden might look like? So what you have to do, we will divide this rectangle into 4 equal parts. The parts should be equal, and then we have to shade only 3 parts out of 4 according to the question. Okay, so this is the way I did this. What I did, I divided the rectangle into 4 equal parts, but using a different way. In this picture, first, I drew a horizontal line, and then using a vertical line, I divided into 4 equal parts and then shaded 3 out of 4 to show where she planted flowers. And in this rectangle, I divided into 4 equal parts but using the vertical lines only. Now these are 4 equal parts and I shaded 3, and the yellow parts are showing the parts where she planted flowers. So you can do it in 2 different ways. Okay, question number 1. In the problem in box A on page 616, what fraction names all the pieces of casserole? So this question is related to this casserole, and we have to write the fraction for all the pieces. Okay, so first of all, let's count what is our denominator. What is the whole? How many parts do we have? We just saw a video related to this casserole. So what was the denominator? What was the whole? Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the denominator is 6. Very nice. And the fraction for all the pieces. All pieces means the total number of pieces in the casserole. All the pieces. How many pieces are there? Bravo, it's 6 again. So it is 6 of 6. The fraction is 6 of 6. Very nice. Okay, question 2. is related to the picture of this cake. It's Mrs. Patel made a cake. What fraction of the whole cake does each piece represent? Each, we have to write the fraction for each piece. So first of all, let's count and find what is our denominator, what is our whole. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So my denominator is 8. Very nice. Now for each piece, what do you think the word each means? Each means each single piece. Each single piece. What does the word single mean? It's a unit. What is the meaning of unit? Excellent. It's one. So each means single, single means unit, and unit means one. So for each piece, for example, if I take this piece, each piece, what is numerator for this piece? What is the unit? 1. Very good. So for each piece, we will write the numerator 1. It's going to be a unit fraction. So whenever you see the word each in any question related to fractions, so each represents that you have to write a unit fraction where your numerator is going to be 1. Very good. So question 3 is again related to picture of this cake, and we have to write the fraction that how many pieces were eaten. So first of all, the denominator, it's same. We have just written here, it's 8. And how many pieces were gone or were eaten? 1, 2. Very nice. So it's 2 of 8. The fraction is 2 of 8. 2 pieces were eaten and the total was 8. Very nice. Now question 4 to 6, we have to use this region. So how many total parts are there? 1, 2, and 3. Now how many are blue? 1, 2. How many are yellow? Only 1. Question 4. How many 1/3 pieces parts are blue? So how many parts are blue? Excellent. Only 2 parts are blue out of 3 parts. Okay. What fraction of the whole is blue? We have to write the fraction. So here is the fraction bar. What is my denominator for this region? What is my denominator? How many total parts I have? Excellent. It is 3. Now how many are blue? Very good. Only 2 are blue. So my numerator will be 2. Now what fractions name all the parts? All the parts like we did in question 1. We have written the fractions for all the parts in casserole. Now all the parts. So what is the whole? Wonderful. It's 3. All the parts mean how many parts we have? Again 3. Very nice. Going to write the fraction for each part. So let's say I will do question 9 with you and the rest you will do yourself. So each part. So first of all, what will be my denominator for this shape? Let's count with me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Excellent. The denominator is 4. Now for each single part, the numerator is 1. Very nice. Bravo. And what about the fraction for the blue parts? The denominator will be same. 1, 2, 3, and 4. But how many blue parts do I have? 2. Very nice. So the numerator will be 2. And in question 11, you have to draw a rectangle and you have to divide it into 6 equal parts, just like we did in page number I think it's 615. We divided the rectangle in 3 equal parts. Now you have to divide this rectangle into 6 equal parts, and then you have to shade how many parts? 2 parts. Your numerator is 2. So let's sample answers. You have to do it yourself and then you can match your answers with mine. Next page. George cut a cake into 8 pieces. Explain what the unit fraction of the cake is. Unit fraction. So we studied yesterday. Unit mean 1. Very good. So the numerator will be 1 because it's a unit fraction. And he divided the cake into how many total pieces? 8 pieces. Bravo. So your denominator is going to be 8. Very nice. Question 13. Divide the grid below into fourths. Shade 3 of the parts. Write the unit fraction that represent each part of the whole. Then write a fraction that represents the shaded area. So first of all, you have to divide this into 4 equal parts. Just something like this. So now I have divided into 4 equal parts. So each part is equally divided. How do I know? Because I can count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 here, 4, 4, and 4. So it's equally divided. Then I have to shade 3 parts of this region. So I will shade this part, let's say, and this part. So what will be my fraction for this? How many parts are shaded? 3. Very good. And how many total parts we have? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very nice. Excellent. And then you have to write unit fraction for this. So unit means 1. Very good. Excellent. For each part, we are going to write a unit fraction. When you see the word each, means you have to write a unit fraction. And we know in unit fraction, the numerator is always 1. And what is the denominator? It's 4. Very nice. Excellent. Okay, question 14. Christine has 6 red scarves and 3 blue scarves. So first of all, we will stop right here. How many total scarves she has? How could you find out that? Bravo, 6 plus 3, so it's equal to 9. So she has 9 scarves. Now each scarf has 2 fringes. Each scarf has 2 fringes. So how many total fringes she has? So 9 scarves, each has 2. There is word each. So which operation you are going to apply? Excellent. Multiplication. So 9 scarves multiplied by 2 is going to be 18 fringes. Very good. Now question 15. Draw a circle to show 6 equal parts. Shade more than 3 of the circle and less than 5 by 6 of the circle. So you have to draw a circle. Then you have to divide it into how many equal parts? It's given here. 6 equal parts. Very good. And then you have to shade more than 3 but less than 5. So just think, what number is it? More than 3 means bigger than 3 but smaller than 5. Excellent. It's going to be 4. So how many parts you are going to shade? 4 parts. Very nice. Bravo. So here are some sample answers for this. Let's do the last question. 17. Write fraction to show 3 parts of each of these vegetable trays. How are the fractions alike and how they are different? So first of all, you have to write the fraction for 3 parts. So your numerator in all of these trays will be 3. Very good. Will be 3. And in this tray, what is going to be your denominator? Let's count the whole. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the denominator will be 4 and the numerator is 3. Here the numerator is 3 and denominator will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And likewise here the numerator is going to be 3 and for the denominator you have to count the whole and write 3 different fractions and how they are alike. What is going to be the same thing in all 3 fractions? Very good. Excellent. All the numerators are going to be 3. And what is the difference? The whole or the denominator is different in all the fractions. So here is a sample answer for this question. That's all for today's lesson. I hope you learned the concept and you enjoyed the lesson. See you in the next video with a new lesson. Till then, stay safe and take care.